are the father.
The Rock 100.5 Morning Show with Bailey and Southside.
Oxygen Financial, all of your money needs. Whether you make a gazillion dollars a week or you make $5 a week, it doesn't matter. Theodore, Ted Jenkin will take care of you. Today's topic of conversation that he's brought with him, 5 money moves to make before you start a home business. Was I spot on by saying during the holidays, a lot of people for extra cash or maybe to start something for the long term will get it going like Christmas ornaments or cookies, or used to sell these sausages and cheese. Like, I'd get at the house and just to make some extra cash.
Hickory Farms.
Yeah, Hickory Farms. And sell the sausages from the house and you ship out the sausage wings.
Yeah, my mother would do crafts and stuff to sell,
People sell candles, ornaments, all kinds of stuff. At this time of year, a lot of people do start a business or they make the plan for January to start a home business.
Yeah. So what do they need to know?
Well, I always tell people, first of all, people that got a 1099 this year, people that actually did start a business, one of the biggest mistakes that they make, Jason, is they do not estimate paying income taxes. Remember, when you work for the man, right, you work for an employer, taxes get taken out of your paycheck. When you have your own business, guess what? If you don't take out your own taxes, by the time you actually file your taxes, you're going to owe a lot over.
It's such a gray area, though. I mean, if you're not making a lot of money, who's going to know if you've only brought in maybe $3,200 over the holiday season?
Well, that dishonest segment brought to you by. It's hard to say.
Look, Jason's right. There are a lot of businesses out there that says, well, if I don't make a certain amount, I don't really need to declare it. But if you do make money, you're supposed to declare the gross income. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't take away expenses, which is one of my big tips is that when people start a home business, Jason, they don't make a separation of church and state. And that's one of the biggest mistakes that people make. If you're really going to do a business, like this isn't a hobby, we'll talk about the problems if it's a hobby. But if it's really a business, you've got to have a separate business bank account and a separate business credit card. Because if you don't, and you get audited down the road, what are you going to tell the IRS? And also make sure it's under an LLC and not your own personal name, right? Well, that depends. I recommend that you get an LLC. It just prevents you liability-wise. But if you have a business that doesn't have a lot of liability, you don't necessarily need an LLC. The problem is, though, when you start one of these businesses, as a guy that's been there and done that, I'm talking about from the credit card standpoint. Oh. And in the loans to start a small business is that if you're born in this fine country, the interest rate is ridiculous. To get a credit card, the interest rate is ridiculous. Now, if I were born in, let's say, Japan, and I wanted to come over and start a nail salon.
Go after Zimbabwe, too.
No, it's Japan.
It's Japan.
It's Japan.
Sorry. Okay.
They come over here, they get a fantastic deal, and these jobbers never pay the damn thing off, leaving us with the bill somewhere down the road.
How about that?
I've been there. I've been through this. So I had 3 personal credit cards that I'd take out because it was cheaper to do it through an actual business loan because I couldn't get it because I'm an American. Crazy.
Ain't it crazy?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, welcome to America.
True story.
Well, there it is. There is a nail salon. Seems to be popping up at every strip mall here and there.
And a massage place next to that, and a place where you can get some fine egg foo young or whatever. It's, I'm not hating on the Asians. I'm just saying a lot of you get some great deals, and I'm a little pissed off about it because I never got
I think anybody that's not a citizen gets good deals. I think a lot of business people will tell you that.
Mm-hmm. All right, what's the next one?
That are not American.
Well, look, this is a big thing that I'm talking about here. I'm telling you, if you don't separate your stuff and you get audited down the road, someone's going to say, oh, yeah, Jason, you bought a computer on your personal card. Why didn't you buy it in the business? So that's a big thing in here. Now, a lot of people don't have a marketing plan, right? This is one of the reasons a lot of small home businesses fail is they don't even have a plan on how to acquire customers. So like you said, it's holiday time and I'm going to sell candles or I'm going to make special cookies or I'm going to sell ornaments. But then the question is, where are you going to sell them? Just because you have something to sell doesn't mean that there's somebody to buy it.
You have to find your clientele. And when I had to sit out my 6 months when I was over at Shawshank to here for my non-compete, a friend of mine and I started this social media business, right? And we were trying to find clients. And we had gotten a couple, but a lot of people, especially, we're going to the mom pa's like in Roswell, Sandy Springs, and around where I lived. We would go in, and the older generation has no idea how powerful social media is. Free advertising, where for a small fee, if you want to spend on Facebook and now Twitter, you can go after your clientele. They don't get it. Oh, I don't know anybody on the internet. And it's like, what are you talking about? I don't need a web. A buddy of mine owns a tennis shop. It's like, dude, your website blows. Nobody goes to the website. Like, if you don't have a nice website, no one's going to shop there. It's like having a nice storefront. It's the same exact thing.
Well, one of the biggest home businesses that people start, especially here in Atlanta, Jason, I see a lot of people's family finances are multi-level marketing programs. These are things like Advocare or Stella & Dot or Monavi or whatever it may be. Look, if you're getting invited to a trunk show or a presentation, right, that's going to be a multi-level marketing business, but you still have to be able to spend money on marketing, and many people don't research what you can actually earn from the business. So just because you have a good idea doesn't mean you're actually going to make money at it.
So, and I've got a side project, paper mache. I like making paper mache statues of famous people.
How's that business going?
It's in my head, but I am seriously thinking about putting it into operation.
And the name of the business is?
Paper maches.
You make me a John Travolta one.
I will do a Travolta doing the disco move. I can do Robert E. Lee for you Southern folk. And the second you walk into your house, there will be a paper mache statue painted, because it doesn't have to be perfect when it's paper mache, and I'm not perfect with it.
Paper maches for all the gays. Well, maybe that's
I could go that and do that in my neighborhood.
Maybe too lengthy there.
Okay.
And the next one there.
Well, one big one, Jason, the question is, do you know the laws? A lot of people start a home business, but they don't research the laws, which means, do you need a business license? Steve knows a lot about permitting. There are certain permits or licenses for certain kinds of businesses. And then the question is, will your business have to pay sales tax or property tax? A lot of people get into a business and they buy equipment or furniture. Then they don't realize they're going to get a bill from the city for property taxes, or they may have to pay sales tax. And a lot of people don't look into that, and that can cause you problems with the Department of Labor.
I never thought about that.
Yeah. Let me tell you what, that's a big thing. Steve knows, you start getting notices from Georgia's Department of Labor, Department of Revenue. Good God, they'll just keep coming in the mail.
So the Filipino kid, the Filipino kid Steve's going to hire to put together these paper mache
and
things.
Paper maches.
You probably need to get that cleared somewhere.
I'll work on it.
Like the lead singer of Journey has them all backstage making band merch now.
Yeah. I need to get that guy. He looked clueless last night singing on Monday Night Football. Freaked me out.
Oh, was he on Monday Night Football?
Journey sang last night.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't see that.
I've got pictures. You can look at it at Southside Steve on Twitter.
Hello, Arizona.
Yeah, but he comes out. It's Neil Sean, Jonathan Kane, and Neil Pineda, or Arnell Pineda. Sorry, I get his name wrong. It's who cares? But he
get my name right, Steve.
He sang the national anthem, and you could tell.
Say, can you see?
It sounded a little bit like that. Yeah.
Did he pass the E-Verify program?
I don't know.
I love this country faithfully.
I don't even know what Journey's paying him. I have no idea. We need to investigate that.
The Rockets, red glass, separate ways.
I'm sure they still make more money per tour right now, even with him as the front man, than they did 20 years ago.
Loving, touching, squeezing the country.
You're not allowed to do that.
Hello.
You perv.
I'm the lead singer, Johnny. Mm-hmm. All right, what's the next one?
That sounded painful.
A little bit like that.
One big thing you got to
okay, stop.
You got to realize,
rock and roll band ever.
If you start a home business, the question really comes down to, is it a business or is it a hobby? Because if you have a business at home that you make $5,000 and you're taking $10,000 of expenses, so you're telling the IRS that you're losing money, and you lose money in 3 out of 5 tax years, the IRS could. And I'm going to tell you how to deal with it, but they could say, hey, Jason, this really isn't a business. Yeah. It's a hobby, and thus we're going to disallow your losses. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people think they can just take the losses forever, but you got to be very careful about that.
They say that on Shark Tank all the time.
Yeah, there's a timeline on your losses. If you come up with a business, you do need to start making money within 3 years.
No, that's what they
that's always what I hear.
It's a general rule of thumb, but here's what you have to say to yourself. There are some businesses that are public today that still have never made any money. So you've got to basically make it sort of look like a business, right? Do you have a website? Do you have business cards? Do you have a marketing plan? If you have those basic things in place, it doesn't mean a business can't lose money longer. But if you're working out of your attic somewhere, in this case, you're selling candles, and you're making $1,000 of income and you're losing $10,000 a year, eventually the IRS might say, hey, look, is this really a business or is it a hobby? So you've got to be very careful about that. 3 out of 5 tax years.
Because in the taxes, you actually would get money back for your losses every year.
Well, it'll get deducted from your W-2 income or whatever other income you make, so you will save some money on taxes. Yeah, sure. Sure. That's a lot of people use a business as a loophole.
All right. Ted Jenkin, Oxygen Financial, 5 money moves to make before you start a home business. All right, next one. Where do you have? 4?
No, this is my last one on here, which is just get a business budget. Steve knows this, having a business and run it before. No matter what business you start, your expenses are probably going to be 50 to 100% more than you think, and it's going to take you twice as long to make revenue. So a lot of people think, hey, I'm going to get a business. I'm going to be making $10,000 a month in a couple of months. No, you won't. It's going to take you more money to run that business, to start it, and it's going to take you longer to create revenue. Every business owner will tell you that's what they go through.
That's the gospel. And he's speaking the truth.
And you got to take the emotion out of it, because when my ex-wife and I opened up this women's boutique.
I never heard this.
I told you this.
Oh, yeah, Bailey's Boutique.
What was it called?
Downtown Divas.
Dude, remember the name.
There's a winner.
Welcome to Downtown Divas. That's awesome.
It started out as something for her to do.
Man.
The point of it is the extra expenses that when you go in, your emotion gets the best of you, like when you're house or car shopping, and you start spending extra money on, let's paint the ceiling. And it's like, what place have you ever gone into and remembered the color of the ceiling? That's an extra $1,000 or $2,000 expense. So those extra expenses add up.
Oh, yeah.
Letting your emotion get the best of you. So I had to talk her out of painting the ceiling for Downtown Divas.
No question about it. That's why you can't get emotionally attached in your business. You got to run it like a business. The moment it gets too personal,
just the name.
Yeah, you're in big trouble.
I'm telling you right now.
How long did it take for that one to go out of business?
Yeah.
Well, the marriage ended before the business went out.
That's why you shut it down. Ceilings do matter in some businesses.
No, they don't.
In Balance Salon, where I go, they've decorated the ceiling where you get shampooed, and I stare up at it, and it's great.
What color?
They have ivy. It's ivy going through wood, and it's fantastic. And I look at it, and I go, that's cool.
You're the only person that does it. What color are the ceilings at an Outback?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Well, I don't go to Outback. You got to give me something else.
Oh, well.
Yeah, burger, they're yellow. I don't know.
All right, Ted, how can people get a hold of you? I was just up there visiting Ted Jenkin, Oxygen Financial, at your Alpharetta office. I needed some help and some advice, and we were doing some money moves there. So how can people find you, Ted?
Oh, look, if you're running a business, you want to figure out how to grow your top line revenue or make your money work harder on the bottom line, and beat Uncle Sam. Come see Oxygen Financial. Go to oxygenfinancial.net and come see us.
Yeah, from the low end to the high end. I'm telling you, I'm on that low end, but he's doing wonders for me. All right. Here's an opportunity. If you had calls in earlier, whether it was the PERS in the hood or the stories we're talking about Bartow County, putting the flyers on the doors, excuse me, the sexual offenders, whatnot. 404-741-ROCK. That's 404-741-7625. I gave you 2 days. We don't talk about this often, but we got to bring up The Walking Dead and the episode Sunday night. There's also a story that goes with it of somebody that binge watched The Walking Dead on Netflix and decided that his best friend was a zombie and what he did to him. So we'll get you all that and some phone calls here next. It's Bailey and Southside on Rock 100.5.
Rock 100.5 right now, Haviland Express Loop.